Hi everyone, my name is Rodney Smith. I'm here with BoardGameGeek at SPIEL 2019. I've been joined by Stephen from Yellow, and you brought a little surprise with you. A game that we've seen before, because this has been out for a while, the Big Book of Madness, one I've played before and enjoyed. But then this is the new piece, right?
Yeah, that's the expansion. So Big Book of Madness has kind of become a fan favorite. It's got a very dedicated following.
Yeah.
It's a pretty challenging co-op.
It is a very challenging co-op, and that's one of the things that's quite enjoyable about it, I think.
Certainly workable.
When you win, it's very satisfying.
So just a quick refresher, in the Big Book of Madness, we're trying to work our way through the grimoire here and work our way through the book and finally be able to close the book. It's not important to beat all the monsters that come out of it.
You just want to survive almost and get it shut.
Exactly, and just shut it and be able to get away.
Which is kind of fun because
it's
got this page-turning element to it, right?
Right. And on each one, it's going to tell you what curses are going to come out that you're going to have to deal with and be able to dispel those curses as you can using our element cards here. So we've got our different magicians up here in the corner, and those are 8 magicians that come with the base game.
Yes.
So with our new expansion, we've got 4 additional characters, magicians, who come with the game, and they have special abilities. You'll see this new card here, and this is the Dark Matter card.
Right.
So the Dark Matter is a 5th element, but it's not an element. It's kind of a very temporary, very unstable element. So while the expansion is called the 5th element, it doesn't act like air, fire, earth, or
has
water.
its own properties?
As its own, but it's kind of a conglomeration of all of those.
Okay.
And what happens now, we've got new monsters. The game comes with new monsters. They're going to have dark element curses that come out. So with these dark element curses that would come out in the grimoire, you mix the two together. Now we've got curses that come out that contain only dark elements.
Right.
So, and they have dark elements required to be able to cure them. So how do you get the dark elements to be able to dispel these? So dark elements only come in a variety of 1. They don't come in the 1s, 2s, 3s like the others.
Right.
To make a dark element, you have to discard 2 cards of 2 different elements, and that comes together to make a dark element. Unstable.
Yes.
That dark element comes into your hand. Now, the other thing that you can do besides dispelling these new curses with the dark element, dark matter, is to be able to use the dark book. The dark book is going to give you benefits. This is actually going to help you. So in the dark book on the left side, this is a much more simple benefit that you're going to need to discard that many element cards to get a benefit to help your team.
Okay.
You can use this over and over. But once somebody uses this really powerful, now we have to turn the page. It's one and done.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And once the entire book is closed, you no longer have any help from the dark book.
So I suppose you're always going to be a little tempted, hey, we got this powerful thing, we really need this right now.
Exactly.
And it's like,
we always need it.
We have to do it right now, because if we do, we're getting closer to being out of these powers to use. I love that.
We can use the one on the left as much as we want, but the one on the right becomes much more
I love that
precious.
about this game, in the original game too, is there's always that, you're always being told to do this thing that you need to do now, but should we wait off just a little bit longer?
Because you don't know what's coming.
Because you don't know what's next.
Right, exactly. So the dark element cards, there are a lot of them for the dark book, so I think there's a lot of replayability here in that
Do you only use a certain number of them in the book at a time?
You do. I don't remember off the top of my head. There are.
So every time the book will have a different mix of
it will, because
powers.
there's going to be a different left and a different right page, so they're never paired the same together.
Oh, that's very cool.
There's one more part about this. So in addition to the 5th element, we now have these phobias. So phobias make it so that you can't use any action using water, for instance. You can't take the cure action, for instance. Here at the end of your turn, you can go to 5 cards instead of 6. Now these are actually a type of a madness card. Just one more callback to the original game. The madness deck is part of the deck building that clogs your hand up.
Right.
It's not useful at all. And it clogs up as well that pooled area that you can all share. When you run out of madness cards and aren't getting rid of them and putting them back in the deck, that's one of the end game conditions.
Okay.
These phobias now come up, but they come up face up. So you know when you're going to draw madness that they're going to be intermixed with the normal madness cards.
Right.
When you're going to draw one, you know that you're going to be drawing it and putting it into your discard. So you know sometime in the future I'm not going to be able to take any action using fire. Got to kind of plan for that. Work that into your plan as well. These phobias can be cured just like the madness cards. They can be discarded, and then they're no longer affecting them.
And there's quite a variety of these I see here as well,
there's quite a few of these as well. And as soon as you take one of these, it goes into your resource pool, your shared pool, which is face up underneath your character card, because everybody needs to see and remember that you can't use fire, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to clog another space in your resource pool. The phobia component of this certainly adds a lot more challenge, whereas the balance comes in the fifth element component. So
yeah, and the book of help there too.
And these are two standalone modules. You can either add them both into the game, one or the other into the game, and so it adds a lot of variability.
How do you think it affects the length of the game in terms of gameplay?
It makes it more challenging, you know, but each turn, a turn is a turn. It just requires more planning, more communication. And really emphasizes the co-op component of the game for sure.
Excellent. So is this something that's available now or coming soon? Or?
It's not. It's going to be out in the U.S. in December. And we're anticipating just slightly after that, January or February for Europe.
All right. Well, if you haven't played the original base game, I do recommend it. And an expansion is waiting for you once you dive into the game.
Sounds great. Thanks for having us.
You bet. Cheers.